Hi, I've recently acquired Unconditional Surrender, the Western campaigns, and I thought I'd post about it. This first scenario, it's interesting the way they created the game is like the old squad leader. You can learn a little bit of the rules at a time and then play a scenario. So this first scenario is the invasion of Poland, September 1939. And it uses basically the movement rules, the air rules, the ZOC rules, the very basic combat rules, and you can play it out as basically a solitaire game. It's a one-turn game. The German move only in combat, and if the Germans don't win, they lose. So they have the month of September to make Polish will collapse. Polish have 12 points of will. And each city you can take, like Danzig, Posen, Lodz, and Krakow, are worth 2 points each. So if you take those 4 cities, that's 8 of the 12. Warsaw is worth 4. So if you take Warsaw, that's 4. So if you take all 5 cities, that's all 12 points. That's all you need. If you don't take all 5 cities, then you have to make it up by killing Polish armies. Each army you kill is worth 1 point. The Germans have, let's see, I'm going to pull some units off to the side so we can show you how the rules basically work. The Germans have 7 armies, 2 panzer, 5 infantry, and 2 Luftflots. The Luftflots each have 6 sorties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which each sortie adds 2 to the German die roll. The Germans also get an inherent +2 just for being Germans, and a panzer unit gets a +2. And that's because this entire turn of September is clear or fair weather. If panzer units in poor weather only get a +1, panzer units in severe weather don't get any benefit. The same with the air. Air is a +2 in fair weather, +1 in poor, and no benefit in severe weather. The ZOCs are fairly sticky. If you move into an enemy ZOC, you have to stop your movement. You have to either end your turn or attack that enemy unit in a mobile attack. Leg units have 8 movement points. All other units, which would mean the air units and the panzer units, get 10 movement points. So to start your turn, you can leave a ZOC. You cannot move directly ZOC to ZOC of the same unit, the unit you started with, but you can move ZOC to ZOC if you're entering a different unit ZOC and you're no longer in the original unit ZOC. Or you can just move out and back in, even if you're moving out and back in to the same enemy ZOC to attack a different unit. So that's basically how movement works. Clear terrain costs 1 movement point. If you follow a transport line, that's 1 movement point per hex, even through bad terrain. Bad terrain, which is mountains, forest, swamp, costs 2 movement points per hex. Rivers cost +1. Mountain hex sides cost +1. To attack a hex in a mobile attack, that costs +1. So to attack a unit in Warsaw across a river would be 2 for the enemy city, which is basically bad terrain. You have to pay 2 for an enemy city, 1 for a friendly city. 2 for the enemy city, 1 for the river, and 1 for the attacks. That's 4 movement points. Excuse me. Stacking, you can have 1 ground unit and 1 fighter unit and 1 bomber unit. In the same hex, there are no bomber units in this scenario. Combat resolution is basically both sides roll a die, and each side's die may be modified. The German die is the attacker's die, and the Germans in this case is modified by +2 if they use an air sortie, +2 for being German, +2 for a panzer unit, and +2 if you have the enemy isolated. An enemy unit is isolated if it cannot retreat and it is not adjacent to any other friendly unit or city. This unit is isolated. That would be a +2 for the Germans. This unit, however, if he were here, is not isolated because he's adjacent to a friendly city. If that city had been captured and it was under German control, then it would be back to being isolated, and a +2 to the die roll for the Germans. The modifiers for the Poles, they have 2 ground support units. They can commit 1 to each of 2 individual battles. That gives them a +1 to their die roll. The other modifiers, if a unit is reduced, if it has that white bar across it, it's a -2 to the Polish die roll. And the modifiers are essential that you put them to the correct die roll, because the combat table is not linear. 1-to-1, defender die roll, attacker die roll. If you roll a 1-1, it would take 2 more for the Germans to have a positive effect. 2-2, it would take 2 more for the Germans to have a positive effect. 3-3, 2 more for the Germans to have a positive effect. 4-4, 2 more for the Germans to have a positive effect. 5-5, 1, 2, 3 more for the Germans to have a positive effect. So the further down, the higher the defender rolls, the harder it becomes for the attacker to overcome the defense. So the attack is not linear. The die rolls, the CRT is not linear. So we have to make sure you apply the modifiers to the correct side. Mobile attacks may not be conducted against forts or in poor or severe weather. They can only be done in fair weather, and against +1 to your movement point to make a mobile attack. There's no penalty other than the movement cost for making a mobile attack. An assault, which there aren't any in this particular scenario, but an assault is done at the end of the turn, and then you get additional modifiers for adjacent friendly units helping in the assault. So that'll be covered in a different scenario, not this one. So that's basically it for the rules. Stay tuned. I'll post a video most likely tomorrow playing out this scenario. Thanks. Bye.